Welcome back, Minecraft fans, back to our very own world of Rivenbourne one more time. Very excited about the episode, but first of all, what'd you think of that little cinematic? If you haven't caught that, go ahead and click the link in the corner, one of those card things, and go check that out. It was a ton of fun to make, and it gives kind of a reason behind some of the things that we'll see today in the first ever, kind of second, but first official world tour here in Rivenbourne. There are a ton of animals around here. What is going on? Anyway, we're here at spawn. This is the 0-0 of the world, and down there is my starter base. A lot of stuff, a lot of things happened here. A lot of stuff has been plundered, but one thing that hasn't, one thing that remains, is this crafting bench. My first ever crafting bench, built under the first tree that I punched with my fist on day one, oh so long ago. And I didn't even come back and give the tree the courtesy of taking it out completely. It's just hovering there. That is bad manners. Anyway, let's take a trip down the hill here. Rivenbourne, if you don't know, is a single-player vanilla survival world where it is my intention to create not just the world, but the entire storyline that goes along with what happened in this world and why things exist and why they are where they are. And I got down here without even dying, so ha. And to that end, well, that's what the storyline little video was before, and that's just a taste. That's just chapter 1. But there's a lot more of that to come, and there's just a whole adventure that I've got planned out, and some of it that I don't have planned yet. So right here, we're hopping along on what was my starter enchanting setup. Oh, I guess I still have the table here, but of course there were bookshelves around here. And my starter base is in this hut here. We've got a little bit of storage, and there used to be a lot more, and my first super smelter, which is just one furnace with a hopper, and a little lever for giving you your XP back. Really not much. But it was in use until very last episode, episode 25, when we finally built a proper super smelter over in Mistglade, which we'll be visiting later. But let me take you on back here to my map room. I still remember back in episode 1 showing off this map room, which is a 7x7 wall of maps, and like 30% of it I think was done. It was mostly just a blank stone wall with a bunch of gaps, but now it is of course complete. It's been complete for a while, and you can see here the workings of our first little village called Mistglade, and it's not done yet, or rather the map isn't done yet. So let me take that, perfect, and we'll update that when we're over there later today. But most of what we built, well, besides that, most of what we built is the city of Mistglade. Everything else is not on this map, so I needed a bigger map. So let me show you the results of that over here. We've got the really big map. Every single one of these is zoomed out as far as it will go. And if you see down here, we have Mistglade, and this is the too tall birch forest biome that Mistglade generated in, and we're on large biomes, by the way. And way up there is the closest desert. It's over 8,000 blocks away, and that is where we built our very, very second village, or are in the process of building our second village, Sands. And as you can see, I've made the journey a few times, but mostly I just used the nether for that now. And dotted around here are a couple of other flags, some brown, some white, and also, whoops, continuing down here, you can see a couple of other flags. Let's and look at that. Those are the locations that I've scouted for some of the other various villages and bases and monuments and things that I have planned for this world. And what I'm going to do at the end of the video is spin a little spinner wheel, and it's going to tell us where we're going to build next. So stay tuned for that so you can see what you can expect in episode 26 to 27. But that being said, let's start. I think we better start by going through our nether portal to the nether hub that we built in episode 4. I'm pretty darn proud of it, small though it is. here we go. Granite and quartz. What it's all about, granite and quartz. As you can see, it's not complete. And that's because I don't have all that many places that I want to go just yet. But every time I have a new place that I want to go, like for instance our village of Mistglade, I can just throw it in down one of these tunnels and get there real fast. Under the floor here you have ice, so you can take advantage of that jumping trick. And we got different sizes, so the more important ones, or maybe the ones that are farther away, get bigger doorways to go through. For instance, this obviously goes to an ocean monument, an XP farm, and it is so far away. We'll head down there in a little bit, but first I wanted to show you there's nothing interesting down there. That's the end portal. Haven't done anything with the stronghold, so there's really nothing to show off. Let's go this way. First, we'll take a trip to our newest project, the Village of Sands, and I just built this awesome antechamber here for the nether portal path to get to Sands, and I did the roof. I kind of didn't know what to do for that. I'm pretty happy with what I came up with here. It's supposed to just look like the space, just the stars, and you can see that torch. I'll need to fix that. But it's also very rich and well lit here. And this kind of a fun little stairway that doesn't require jumping, you just march right up, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, this leads of course to the nether roof, which is the only efficient way of getting 8,000 blocks in the overworld. So let's switch out, get our rockets, and take a quick trip. Alright, here we are, and as you know, it's pretty hard to see in the nether, so I made these beacons here to guide me. Actually, I probably need one in the middle. That's not a bad idea, because sometimes I still get off track, but I made these beacons so that I knew where to land, so that I could descend into the Village of Sands, and it's right through here. So, accommodations for this base are minimal. Gathering some cacti, some acacia wood, and of course all of my blue and green wool that I will need for the village. And just up ahead you can see one of our first projects here, and that is the watchtowers. They look so cool peering over the hill here, and they just remind me of how cool it's going to be when we have roads leading into this city. Sands it's called so far. Maybe that name will change, but and you have to pass inspection to even get into the city. And then once you pass this hill here and these gates, there's just going to be buildings everywhere, and it's going to be a very well populated city. And as you can see, I've got the roads planned out. That's going to be a tunnel down there, but these were a ton of fun to make, and I wanted to make them each different. And it was right after 1.14 came out, if I recall, and so I got to take advantage of the timeless campfire plank bridge, which is just so cool. Here, give me a second. How do I look? I thought so. So, other things built in this area, besides having all the roads planned out and a big old bridge, we've got sort of a kind of a community over here, which is not too poor, but not too rich either. We've got a shopkeeper here, which is open for the day. Who knows what they're selling? But they've got a nice meeting area over here to get warm by the fire. They've got a well for fresh water, and maybe a place to sleep up here, interiors to follow, and even a nice rooftop meeting location. And one of the plans for the City of Sands is that every rooftop is utilized and that there's just life everywhere. So like over here, we've got, well, that's kind of a weird glitch. Look at that combined texture there. We've got someone sleeping down here, cooking their food in the corner, and above them we've got someone else doing their work, and above them we've got someone else renting out a tiny little flat up there. And that's what I mean by every rooftop is utilized. So we came through here a few episodes ago and built a bunch of these places and kind of gave them interiors and different ways that they can connect, and they're just growing plants all over, and they love flowers and they love color here in Sands. And although their buildings are just boring and plain, they love filling them up with colors, and as you can see, the main colors of the city are light blue and lime green. And let's see, what else have I got over here? So we have a couple buildings, maybe a nice eatery here, and some farms up here. And as you can see, this leads to some business suites up here for anybody wanting to get some work done. Maybe hire a mercenary or something. And what do we got up here? I wanted sunflowers to play an important role in the city, but sunflowers are very limiting. They always point in one direction, which is fun. It's one of those in-game quirks, but it makes them really boring to build with. So like they don't really go here. They add nothing to it. And if you're on the other side, they would be beautiful. But I can't be constrained by those kind of limitations. So I think sunflowers are probably out, and we'll find something else. We'll just use all kinds of flowers here. We won't be limited to any one kind of flower. Up here we have hotels, so you can get a room and a bed for the night, lock up your valuables when you leave. Because Sands is not the most, trusting place. It's not like Mistglade, which is the home to the elves. It's a paradise there. Nobody would ever steal from you. Here in Sands, it's an international city. And there are people from all over, and of course that brings with it the lowlifes from all over as well. And I think the final one we have here is, of course, where everyone comes to eat for the day. So a lot of the interiors are done here. And of course the plan is to always have interiors done when I do a building here. We even got a marketplace under here. Look at this person is selling mortars and pestles and like potion ingredients. I like that. And the best part is you just walk right in, take what you like, and get back out. So that's what we have done here, but the granite here marks out some of the rest of the plans for this area. So we're going to have a bunch of homes here that are, like I said, moderately wealthy, and then across the river here, we're going to have kind of the poorer district and the shanty towns, and especially on these cliff sides here, it's going to be people living in basically cardboard boxes, which are going to be spruce trapdoors mostly, and wood just thrown together, and they are going to just pile on top of each other, and there's going to be ladders and staircases and plank bridges, and it's going to be like a maze, a labyrinth. And then over here, down this road here, we're going to have the rich area and the big old-time buildings, because a long time ago, Sands was removed from the river as sort of a status here, and the oldest and most lavish manors are over here, and they're going to be huge, sprawling places. They're going to be more built into the ground. They're going to be out of sandstone. And then up on the hill, we'll have the estates, and over here maybe we'll have some more of the merchant buildings, and there's lots to do here, and I'm pretty excited to get to all of it. But right now, it's not that much to look at. Oh, and the most important part, sorry, I forgot. This blue wool here marks out the Colosseum right in the center of town, which is important for our hero's journey, as we'll see in the next time we do one of those cinematics. But it should be a lot of fun to build here, and that's where they have all the, fun sporting events and communal shows. But that's enough of this place. Let's head back to the forest. Now, before we get to our main project, which is the village of Mistglade, we've got a couple more side projects to show you, and one of them is down this hallway, which is the village hallway, and it's not complete. Don't mind that. But it leads to what's going to be kind of the area where I've got my farms for resource gathering, and it's sort of temporary building here, but it is useful, and I tried to make it look good, so one day we can turn it into a proper build, if I feel like it. But I've got a couple of crop farms here, pumpkin and melon farm here, and inside these two barns I've got villagers for villager trading. So behind the white, I've got a shepherd. Behind the yellow, a librarian. I already have all of my books that I need for my tools, so I don't have very many librarians employed, but I do have fishermen and farmers so that I can get enough emeralds to go over here and trade with my stonemasons. That's what's in each one of these, and the stonemasons, of course, are important because they have every kind of terracotta and glazed terracotta that you can imagine, as well as quartz blocks. So with this setup, and it's not full, I'm pretty much complete, and I'm able to just trade up all of the renewable resources that 1.14 gave us, and then a couple other things, like I've got a system here for infecting my villagers with the zombie plague, and then curing them so that I can get those sweet, sweet one resource trades. 1 melon equals 1 emerald deal, and that sort of thing, so that I can just, fund whatever projects I need, and I don't have to go destroy a Badlands biome or something for that. But that's all there is to see here. Back to the Nether Hub. And the last thing to show you before we go to Mistglade is this, not only this hallway, which took forever to grind out and establish here, and repeat this pattern over and over again all the way to the end, but also what's at the end, which is the Guardian Farm. And I made a little welcoming chamber at the end of this, and it'll be the first time that's seen on video. Side note, we built that cool boat direction changer, and then the new mechanics in 1.15 broke it, so I'll have to work on fixing that. But we've arrived at the magical underground internether subway station that is the Guardian Farm. What do you think? I'm pretty proud of this, if I do say so myself. Quite a grand entrance for quite a big build that we built oh so long ago in episode 9 and 9.5. It's gone! Just kidding. Somehow that portal got flipped around, and here is the Guardian Farm with a nice space-filling curve on the top. Thank you very much. And all the little itty-bitty guardians falling into the lava and giving us that sweet, sweet prismarine. So let's take a dive. The Guardian Farm, like the village that we just saw, is a temporary kind of a placeholder build that could become something else if we wanted it to. So I built it with the intention that we could make it into a proper sort of city if we had to. But as you can see right now, it's in automatic mode. All the guardians are just falling to their demise, but we can add water through the vast ocean that's out there and change it to manual mode for the repair of tools and that sort of thing. And it's currently pumping out food and supplies. Right now, it's entirely devoid of prismarine because I used all of it to build the tunnel to get here. So go figure the logic on that. Alright, let's head back to Mistglade. Actually, first let's show off the whole build up here while I get beamed by guardians. Let's show off the detail here. We got this nice ocean wave design, and I especially like these quartz pillars for the corners and the top and the bottom. And yeah, it just continues all the way around. And yeah, it's not the largest guardian farm, and it's certainly not the most efficient one, but it's pretty. I like it. Now for Mistglade. It would be wrong to start off in our awesome nether portal access base with our super smelter and storage system, which is way up there on the hill, because that's not how we started off. Right here, episode 1, the boathouse. That is where it all started, and that's where the tour should start. Let me just get off my boat here, run outside, and just take a look at it. It's beautiful. And inside, beautiful. And over here, actually, let me look this way. Fireplaces, warm and inviting. Stone walls. This is getting updated in 1.16. That'll be nice. Like those gaps are going away. And down here, a place to dock up your boat, which we callously ignored. This is where it all began, ladies and gentlemen. And since then, besides adding interiors, we've gone on to build quite a proud little hamlet here in the trees where elves of all kinds can come and inhabit. We built this house in episode 2, along with that house right up there. We gave it a name. We gave it a city banner, which is subtle, just like the elves, and inscrutable. And we added lighting. Went with the pink wool for the ceilings, which is just iconic at this point, and the dark oak, which looks kind of like a candy, like a lollipop or something. In episode 5, we built this awesome 2-tiered, what do you call it? Like crossroads building with a staircase in the middle and an optional viewing platform up here. And I'm telling you, it can really go a lot of places. We put a lot of work into this. We got an underground garden here. Let's see if I can. Yeah, I'll just leave these open. Underground garden, which is getting pretty overgrown. I don't think half of these mushrooms are supposed to be here, but no matter. And behind this wall here, we've got a secret sugarcane farm, which is spitting out sugarcane 24/7, and filling up my chest over here. Ooh, that's a nice, look at that. Where does that water come from? Where does it go? Well, actually, you can kind of see it ends right there. But, oh, and we've got cool mushroom lighting here. This was a ton of fun to make, and it really adds to the lore of the elves, who are sort of stewards of the land, you know, custodians of the forest. And someone has left a bed around here, I hope. Great, got that taken care of. They've got plants inside of their lobbies. That's how you know they are, you know, tree huggers and really care, you know, conservators. And they really care about the nature and the environment. Because we made this stream which goes down here into a pond. And right now there's an inlet. I realize that there's an inlet and no outlet, and that that's not very realistic, but we will build an outlet stream and have it go somewhere. We've got a nice, you know, gazebo here, which you can sit on the pond and meditate, think about nature and how cool it is. And then, let's see, up here, and around about, oh, I don't know, a few episodes ago, we added in the abandoned library. This is where all the beauty and nature loving comes to hide here. Look at this place. It hasn't been cleaned out in a few years, I'll tell you that. And there should be a door here. I can't fathom where the door's gone. But anyway, here we have a maze of books, and I don't even remember how to get through it myself. And it would be easy to get lost in here, let me tell you that. But down here, down one of these pathways, we've got the hidden button, which leads us, if we do it fast enough, leads us to the secret ritual room, which of course you saw in the cinematic features heavily in the storyline. And also, it's just a cool build. It's the opposite of the Mistglade up there. This is the dark underbelly of something bad went down here. And it also contains another portal, which I have never gone through, so I don't know where it leads. But that is not important. Let's see if we can get out here. So the ancient ritual room, the hidden room down there, it was actually the first idea that we had that inspired the storyline, and I hope that wasn't a creeper. Oh no, it's just a skeleton archer. And from that idea came everything that you saw in the cinematic about our hero's journey and about what happened so long ago with the 4 bad guys setting up that ritual room and invoking the gatekeeper of the afterlife, Village. Now around here we've got a pretty awesome church build, like shrine to the forest demigod Purvit, who of course loves green glass sculptures, and the lilac flowers. And who wouldn't? Nice stained glass here. And is this lighting? Yes, it is. Keep it lit at all times. It's very important. And down here, the formal gardens, which has gone through a couple of different shapes. I kept switching whether I like the stone wall out here or in here, and vice versa with the leaves. And it's at a form right now that I don't dislike, so I might leave it for a little while. but it could definitely use some improvements. So I'll see about doing that. And I'm thinking that the garden part of it is going to extend far in that direction as well, because I want, yeah, it makes sense that the elves here would have a large garden. So let me quickly think if I missed anything about the area around here. Oh, you know what? There's our watchtower off in this direction. Let's go check that out. Around about episode 11 or something like that, we built a bunch of watchtowers out here in the forest on the borders of this too tall birch biome that the elves would use to, protect their land and warn of any, visitors, unwelcome guests, and basically, yeah, just protect the forest. So this is the first one, and it's all right. It's short, and it was done before 114 when we didn't have any of the stone variants like andesite stairs or anything like that. Since then I've put in a barrel. Gosh. So it's alright. Let me head up here and show off the view. We've got the dark oak forest over there. And what was fun about this is that once I made this design, I went ahead and cloned it a couple other places in the forest so that there's actually 3 of these out there to explore, and they all look kind of like this, just solitary outposts, and they have different terrain and landscaping around them. But this is a great spot to look at our Wizard's Tower up on the hill, Quetzal's Tower, and our main project since about episode 14 or something. We've been working on that. I know it seems like forever. We've been working on that tower up there, and it is finally complete, and it is the coolest and the biggest thing that I have to show off today. So let me start with the most fun, the elevator up. And the tunnel, actually, to get to the elevator is pretty cool itself. Very rustic and asymmetric. Alright, hop on in, hit the button, shoot right up very quickly, and arrive at the top. How much fun was that? It is the coolest elevator I've ever seen, and I'm surprised I don't see it more often in other Minecraft builds. But here we are in the entry room, dark oak theme, and the nether portal, which of course goes right back to our nether hub. No need to go through there. But yeah, here is Quetzal's Tower. It started off as a bunch of circles all interlinked, and it turned into this awesome base. And I moved all my stuff from spawn so that I would finally have a proper base here to work from. And it turned into this sort of outside-inside building that I really like. Look at this. The coolest, some of the cooler features are the running water, the custom tree, the hovering end crystal in the distance, just kind of making you nervous the whole time. I think that's pretty cool. The super smelter down here, this is another junk room here. Super smelter is of my own design, and I love it. With 8 furnaces, it perfectly distributes whatever's in this cart. Like, for instance, if you have a stack of something, it'll smelt 8 in each of these so that it can conserve fuel. And the redstone behind this wall detects whether you've run out of materials so that the cart isn't just going back and forth forever. And it just kind of starts and docks all by itself. It kind of seems spooky when it all works. And hey, look at that. I've been making some kelp. Yummy, yummy kelp. Oh yeah, and a hovering brewing stand is a necessity for any wizard. And of course the back door. Very unassuming. Oh, let's take a look at this thing. So I'll probably turn clouds off. Most of the time I'm working on this tower, I had clouds off because unfortunately they intersect. They just go right through. So the idea was to come up with like a design here for one of the towers. That was the first one I made, and then replicate it and modify it just a little bit to build the rest of the tower. And for the most part, that worked. It didn't make it any faster. It still took, about 11 episodes to complete. But I stayed true to that idea and was able to build something that looks like it's all one project, even though it was built over a span of months and months, and it has the look of the White Wizard's Tower, and that's what I wanted for this one. So let's run back inside, because there's no way to get inside except the back door here. And I'll show off the rest of the interior. We got the storage room, and it's the most organized storage room that I've ever had. Even though it looks like a mess, that's the way Quetzal the Wizard is. I've got stone in here. I know I've got lighting over here. I've got iron right here. See, it's all organized. And in the center, we've got a special activator block, which lifts us up to reach the tippy top shelves up here, so that we can store. Look at that. We've even got unused storage space. That's how useful this place is. And then once this stops blinking, it'll suck right back down. That was quite the redstone challenge to make, but I designed it myself, and I'm very proud of it all the same. Over here on this bench, we've got the secret entrance to the upper floor. Little minecart, what do you call it, minecart elevator there. And out here we've got, it's a lot of birch and white terracotta, I know, but I wanted it to be, you know, it's the good guy's place. I wanted it to be obviously, you know, a very happy, happy tower. Now if I can find the room we just came out of, we go up here to Quetzal's personal library, which was also a lot of fun to make. I wanted to do something that was very different from the library downstairs and also looked very fancy and rich, and that's what I came up with. So let's head up here, and of course, like everything in here, it becomes disorganized. You have to jump on top of the bookshelves to get up to Quetzal's study, and in here we have the book of the Tale of Rivenbourne, Chapter 1, Mistglade, and it's all in here, folks. So far, everything that we've written down about our hero's quest and what has happened here, the bad guys and the good guys' struggles, is in that book. And look at the view. Look at the watchtowers just illuminated in the distance. That's so cool. And then you've got little fairy lights throughout the forest. Love that there's dark places still. That makes it really look really cool. But I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else to show you here. This is the culmination of a year and about a year and a half of work at this point, off and on, mostly off, but I'm proud of it. I really think we've got a good thing going here, and so many plans for more. So let me sleep the night away. I'll get that spinner up on the screen and give it a whirl and see where we're building in next. Episode 26. Alright, here is the chosen spinner, and as you can see, we've got, you can kind of see, we've got 2 spots for Mistglade, the pink sections, 2 yellow spots for Sands, our already established cities, and they should be weighted more heavily because, well, we've already built there. 1 spot for the Colosseum, which is our mega build in Sands, kind of like Quetzal's Tower was for Mistglade. And 1 special green space for a new city, and we don't know which one it is yet, but if it lands on there, I will reveal the location and we'll come up with a name and I'll show what it's all about. So let's give it a whirl and see which one it lands on. It just barely landed on the new city. That's pretty exciting. Oh, this is sweet. The first time we use it, and we already got a new city on the map. I'm going to tell you what that is in the next episode when we go there and build something. So be excited for that. But last thing we need to do before we say goodbye to this world tour and this place is, let me switch here, reveal our map. That should have everything from Quetzal's Tower that wasn't on there before, and some of the structures that I built since then too. And let's take a look. Probably not going to be that interesting, but whoa, it is pretty massive, and it's making Mistglade look a whole lot bigger, and that's what I like to see. So thank you all for watching, and I hope I see you in the next episode. We got a whole brand new city to work on. Thank you for joining me one more time here in our very own world of Rivenbourne.